Hello everyone, I'm your host for this month's devlog. You can call me AK. You have probably heard Viking mentioning me a few times in past updates, but I am the owner and lead developer here at Makeshift Studios. As Viking has mentioned, I have been dealing with some pretty major medical issues, but even though there are still some minor things, everything seems to be on the up and up. I apologize for not taking part in last month's update video, but I'm here for this one, and boy is it a doozy. I have a lot of exciting things to share with you all, but to kick things off, I'll start regarding the model progress. To start off with, unfortunately, I've not made any further progress on the Husk model, or any other models for that matter, but that doesn't mean they got completely neglected. Our animation guy Tino has been hard at work learning the ins and outs of Blender and getting the Husk rigged and animated, as well as Viking working on getting textures for the model, but you'll just have to wait till next month to see the progress on that front. But enough of me jabbering here. Here's Tino in his update portion of this video.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. It's your boy, the Unsung Tino here on behalf of Makeshift Studio, and I'm here to present to you the Husk model that the boss AK provided. So for the past 30 days, I've worked on trying to set up a bone rig and try to weight paint it, right? So far so good. Like, I managed to do all the weight painting starting with the bottom of the legs. Yes, if you don't mind the IK handles right here, that takes the last portion of it. But starting off with the legs, it took me roughly about a week just to get this fully weight painted and get its legs spread apart without these two touching each other, right? There's a little bit of a confusion of going back and forth between left lower leg to right lower leg, of trying to change the values from 1 to 0 in weight painting and weight paint erasing, of trying to take out all these messy extrusion and stuff, and just moving on here. Yes, I know there's some deformities. Well, that's all due to because of my own mistake of trying to set up IK handles right here. I tried to follow along a tutorial video of how to set up IK controls, because IK controls is much easier to like control than just like rotating the top shoulder and leg joints, like forward kinematics, right? So all together for like just weight painting the legs took me roughly a week, both lower and upper legs. And in the next few days, I work my way up from the hips, from the bottom to the top, like with the hips, spine, chest, neck, and head. In addition, I added another bone joint for its jaw and weight painted it just so I can move its head around along with the jaw. But first, I had to parent this jaw joint to its head, so so every time I rotate its head, the jaw moves along with it, and that took me about 8 hours. The arms, pretty like, it's really simple. You know, I switched to orthographic view, weight painted it on both sides, move along with his forearm, also an orthographic view, weight painted it on both sides, rework the wrist and its hands. Same like as the boss mentioned. It took me roughly 9 hours to get this fully weight painted, due to its sheer size of the model itself. The model itself, when I first received it, it was around 1.35 gigs, right? And then after all the weight painting is done, the model itself went up from 1.33 to 215 gigs. So overall, this is as far as I gone. And I was thinking about trying to like manipulate its controls to start animating, but every time I try to like move each body part around, let's see if I can do this here. All right. If I go to the wrist and pose it, rotate, it's gonna take me roughly minutes, several minutes, just to get it rotating. And right now, it froze. Until then, like you're just gonna have to wait for like each joint to move, which seems the impossible to animate it. So I'm just gonna figure it out like until like the next update when the boss like fixes like the next rig, so I can finally move on and animate it. This is the Unsung Tino on behalf of Makeshift Studios, signing out.
Next order of business is movement. It has been one of the things I've been working on the past month. I've successfully integrated crouching as well as sprinting into the overall movement system. Don't expect too much precision movement being required, but it might be required in a few segments for safer passage or areas, but we have yet to fully decide on that. Another addition is the implementation of a main menu, as well as a pause menu. And they have not been fully coded yet, but they are in and semi-functional. There's a bit of progress still needed before they can be playtest ready, though. Now on to something that will actually affect what you see. There has been a complete overhaul to the terrain textures, which will now be much higher quality. As an unfortunate side effect of redoing the textures, it has broken the terrain painting that Viking has done. And, of course, we will need to redo that. But overall, this change will improve workflow and streamline adding new textures if needed. If you are interested, I will be posting up-close photos of all our terrain textures to our devlog updates for our subscribers. On to more exciting topics, the first thing I have been working on is redoing the atmosphere and lighting for the first level. I've reduced fog and adjusted how the environmental lighting has been set. This should help with issues of the environment going completely black due to low light levels. This also helps bring the map closer into my original vision of how the level would look. Another feature addition is that I have added nighttime environment skybox, so I will be able to adjust and add nighttime ambience to future levels. Another big addition is the overhaul of the rain effects. I have done away with the old Niagara effects that we were using as a placeholder up until this point, and I have replaced it with an overall better rain effect. We now have the ability to create puddles on the ground and water streaks on objects. Another addition to the rain system I have added is the ability to make lightning storms, a better overall fog system, and the ability to adjust cloud coverage. All this means we'll be able to better adjust the weather and look of the atmosphere on a level-to-level basis. The last thing I have added to this update is a smaller one, being the addition of water effects. This has been put off of how daunting it initially appeared, but the process overall was not too bad. Some small side notes that I should mention are the progress on the second level map has been set back due to an engine crash, losing a good amount of progress. Playtest rollout goal is the end of March to our subscribers. If you're interested in supporting the project and getting access to the playtests, join our Discord and pick up a Dev Pass or Super Supporter Pass subscription. Thank you for your continued interest and support in the project. This has been AK, signing off.